So when I was in the UK for a year, I was fortunate to have been feel very welcome by the Abingdon Gaming Club, the guys there in Abingdon near Oxford. So during my tenure, I joined the club and used to go on a Friday night and play with the guys, and they were excellent. And as a result, I get my free Abingdon Gaming Club shirt. So today's game is a tribute to those guys. Thanks, guys, Ian and the gang.
And I've got one as well.
Yeah, so I picked up a couple for a few of the guys here. So we are now the Ottawa arm of the Abingdon.
The New World chapter.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Okay, so here we are at my basement. Dennis and I have finally got a chance to get together, and we're going to play our second game of Pike and Shotte in 4 months. I think July was the last time we did this.
Right, and stuff is more based and finished, which is great.
Yeah, so I have now finished basing all of my stuff. So now it's not just bare wood. So
why don't you go through your battalions and whatnot?
Yeah, so my right flank is going to be my cavalry, my Blackadder's dragoons, a Galloper gun, and the Newcastle white shirts as a Pike and Shotte block. And I borrowed one of Dennis's ham sandwich and Maker's Mark bourbon. The objective markers as my command, because I still haven't painted my commands yet. So my centre consists of this. Mm-hmm. So I have an Irish Pike and Shotte unit, Scottish Pike and Shotte unit, a Scottish Pike and Shotte unit, and then an Irish Pike unit, and the one gun on that right flank. And then over here I have 2 lots of Irish muskets. These guys who are normally my storming party, I'm using now as my dragoons until I paint my dragoons. And I have a unit of so these are, although they're cuirassiers, they're actually being played as Gordon horse. The stats are pretty close to being the same, except they don't have the elite 4+ that the cuirassiers have.
Yeah.
So, but I'd rather use them just as the Gordon horse anyway.
And for me, I have...
Sorry, and I just want to point out, for my...
I was going to get to
my
this.
Campbell's...
Yes. Wow. We can't let this aggression stand. The Campbell flag, Campbell guy lying dead on the ground there. All right. On my side, I have a unit of Lancers. I've got movement trace for them, so it looks a little weird. It's just because of this forest template. I've got them in 3 rows of 2 for now, with a frame gun next to them. I've got my Fraser's Dragoons with a special leader there, a big arm guy. We'll get into that story in a little bit. I've got Skirmishing Reavers, so it's a Scottish only unit, so they're light horse. They go pretty fast and they're skirmishers. This is Fraser's Firelock, so this is commanded shot. And I got a Saker gun, so that's... hang on a second. Yeah, no, I was going to say that the Saker gun is actually part of the center. Okay. So yes, this is my right flank. My center is the Saker gun, the Seaforth Battalion, the Mungo Campbell of Lawyers, and this frame gun there. And my left are the Highlanders in Reserve, the Roach Regiment, and this other unit over here with another frame gun. I don't know if it's a good setup for Battaglia, probably not, but whatever, we're just sorting out the rules. Yeah. Just to point out, a lot of this stuff that's on the board, apart from the forest templates, like, they're not there. So these hedges and fences, they're there for looks.
Yep.
Right? So it's just...
They won't affect gameplay at all. We're in fact ignoring them.
Yeah, we're ignoring them only because we're packed in. If we had a larger table, which we'll probably do for next time, or less forces.
So I can They can take us out into the other room, and I can actually put 2 6x4s end to end.
And make it 12 to...
And make it a 12x4 so we can spread ourselves out a little bit.
But for now, this will work. So, realistically, so we were originally going to have, capture the wagons, the supply wagons as the objective, but the wagons are still the objective. It's just, destroy the enemy so that you can take the wagons. So, that's what we're going to do.
Just remove the dirty Covenanters from the field, and that'll be it.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Alright, we'll catch you after turn 1. So, shockingly, no blunders on my side. Although it was very close. I rolled an 11. It was close. So over here, for moves, commanded my left to move 2 moves up. So that was 12. And the light guns can move, so that's great. They move the same amount. This forest kind of slowing the Roach Regiment down. I'm going to have to go into the forest next turn. This part of the center battalion also moved 12 inches up. Over here, I commanded the Dragoons 2 moves to go into the built-up area, and this is where I rolled the 11 on these guys here. Clearly, they're drinking too much of the whiskey crates that are there. So my commander attempted to command the commanded shot to move up behind here and kind of get an angle facing this way, but only rolled 1 move, so here they are. The rest of these lot did not move. Firing was very good. My gun, my Saker shot at his cannon missed. Over here I caused a wound and a disorder. Over here I caused a wound with this musket. My frame gun disordered them and caused a wound. And these guys over here didn't cause a wound but caused a disorder. So huzzah. Everything else missed. So that is my turn 1.
Okay, so I'll start on the left. So my commander failed to do what Dennis did, and that was get the Dragoons into their house.
No one wants to go in here.
So nothing happened over on my left flank. They just sat dormant. On this side, they were disordered, couldn't move. I didn't want to move these up as a result because I didn't want to block anything. I managed to move my shot forward. Also managed to move my shot forward here. I moved my Blackadder skirmish cavalry into the forest over here. And I got one of the shot blocks to move forward to protect the gun. And then from shooting, these guys fired at there at close range. Did a casualty, but he saved. These guys fired, casualty, saved. The gun fired over here, did 1 hit, and it just goes straight through, so it took 1 casualty.
Yep.
These guys both fired at the gun, but did nothing. These guys fired at the infantry there, wiped them out.
Yeah.
This lot, and the gun fired at the other shot unit here and wiped them out. They broke.
Yep.
And that was it.
Broke both of them. Yeah, this one here, they took took 3 casualties and broke.
Yep.
This one here, they took 2 casualties, and one of them was from the gun. So that put them at. They would have stayed, but they were disordered and got hit by artillery, so it caused them to run. So the C4th / Mackenzie units starting to fall.
I think they got frightened by their own gun smoke.
Yeah, and this was a light gun.
Yes.
So that's hugely important. I would have rather these guys go down, but whatever.
Yeah, I need to get rid of that gun.
Yeah, well, we'll see what I can do now on my turn 2. So we determined that this light gun, I took the break test at being shaken, where I took 2 wounds, but I should have only taken the break test if I took excess wounds. So we brought this guy back.
Yeah.
So that's just from last turn. Yeah. Over yonder, the Dragoons finally made it into here. Big arm guy is taunting over there, and that caused them to not hit anything in shooting. My skirmishing cavalry moved up, leaving a lane open for my gun. And the lads over here moved up and did nothing in terms of shooting. Over here, these guys... Oh no! These Mackenzies and C4s got blown out. So I rolled a double 6 for blunder. and then I rolled a 1, so these guys fell back 2 full moves. On my turn, I did shoot at -2 with this, and I think I did nothing. This guy just ran out of moves to move him up. I wanted to move him over here. Over yonder. Mungo Campbell of Lawyers. The Pike charged into the Newcastle regiment. Sorry, into the Newcastle shot. I thought these were Newcastle. How are they Irish?
Well,
that's Newcastle.
They're painted
now
as
they're
Newcastle,
Irish?
but they're an Irish. Like I said, I've got Irish and I've got Scots. So the Irish are the ones without the bonnets.
Sure. Okay.
Once they have flags, then I'll be stuck with who they are.
I know, but it's like I was fighting them, and all of a sudden they're like Irish, and I'm like, God damn it! Otherwise, I would have won. So these guys tried to shoot into here. I wound up disordering them because they're dismounted in this forest right here. I moved the 2 muskets up to be support, whereas what I should have done is moved him further up so he could be side support. My light gun shot and shook these Irish. And then in the combat, I took 1 wound in closing fire, inflicted 3 wounds in combat. He inflicted 1. He's shaken. He rolled an 8 -1 for being shaken. He got a 7, so that's infantry stands their ground. So this combat will grind on, and so that is my
it will.
part of turn 2. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Yep. Hopefully I'll be able to. If they shatter, I've got the Highlanders to go sort them out. So, as always, it's the Highlanders. Always.
So what did I do? So, my Blackadder cavalry are disordered, couldn't move. They were locked in combat, couldn't move. I managed to move my gun across here because my intent was to bring these pike up to provide rear support. They moved, they failed, so that ended anything over here. I then used my CNC to swing them around to fire into these, did nothing. And then I tried to move these in a charge into those, did nothing. Had I done that, and they would have gone through them because they were shaken, these would have had to do a break test anyway.
Yeah.
But we learned that afterwards.
Figured it out. Yep.
This unit here was given, so that's my right done. The centre, so this unit moved up as a whole and then fired both into, this one into there, this one into there.
Yep.
Caused casualties, shaken, caused casualties, shaken. These guys also moved up, fired into there. And then these guys fired into there, disordered them. They fired, caused casualties there. This guy came over to sit beside the gun in case his cavalry charged.
I would have charged, yeah.
Which he would have.
Yeah.
So my two shot units moved forward. My dragoons got into the forest, and these guys changed formation from column to line. These guys fired at the gun. These guys fired at the gun, caused a casualty and disorder. And these guys fired and just caused a disorder because he saved the casualty. So disordered, 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 shaken, shaken, not stirred, not stirred. So not a bad result.
Hopefully these guys can get back in the battlefield here.
Lots of kangaroo dice.
Oh yeah,
Dennis
nothing but
was not
6s.
happy about.
Disorder, 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 disorder.
Starts with how Dennis hates the Irish.
Well, I didn't realize I was facing an army full of Irish. Anyways.
Montrose, dude.
I don't see Montrose.
No, that's true.
That's true.
Having a ham sandwich somewhere.
Yeah, an unpainted one. So on my turn, not a whole lot moved. I did charge these lads into the dismounted dragoons, forcing them to run away, which is fabulous. Them moving up meant that they were just within flank support of them in combat. I did well. Inflicted the 4 casualties. Still didn't break them. They fell back. Oh, yeah.
I have my own ham and cheese sandwich.
Nice.
Except you have the ham, I have to make the ham.
Well, make it something else.
Yeah.
Toast with Vegemite. Yes. and a cat up on the thing.
Yeah.
Over here, do you think these guys could pass a test to move up? Nope. Once again, so I had to run these lads up, or I had to run the CIC up at the end to rally one wound off of this and remove the shaken, so I could shoot. These guys shot and brought them over their stamina value and caused them to break. Over here I did nothing because my commanders are awful, yet again, so that's pretty much it. But yeah, the biggest thing was the victory over there, so this ends my turn 3. See what Scott can do, how many more disorders he can get.
Sort of a hit and a miss turn, so on this side I managed to do my free move to bring my shaken unit of these guys back. I passed the test to move Blackadders back, and then I could move the pike. So I rolled to pass and get the pike, the shot, and then this pike forward. Those guys didn't move. Both guns fired into the pike block, shaken, disordered, and forced to test. These guys fired at the infantry here, the gun here.
Gun.
Same thing. Took him over his limit, shaken, disordered, forced to test.
They failed.
These guys then fired. And then over here, he fired at the gun, really nothing. This guy fired there, nothing. This guy fired at there, did a casualty. Gun moved, so it didn't shoot. These guys fired at the cavalry, did a casualty. Yep. They fired, missed. They fired, missed. So it was hit and miss. Literally.
But at least you got 6s. But you got to move everything.
Yes. Yeah, I was fortunate. Every roll I made to move, I got to move.
So I'm now using his dice because I'm just convinced that my dice are awful. And so it's gonna be my turn shortly.
So.
All right, so my turn sucked again. I don't remember what I did. I shot at a bunch of things. Nothing happened.
You disordered them.
Yeah, so nothing happened.
Yep.
I charged. So the idea here was I was going to charge with them, and thinking that they couldn't possibly fail for the 4th time in a row, that they were going to move up and be all the supports that I needed, but they did fail for the 4th time in a row. So I lost this by 1 because I had no supports, and because I couldn't hit anything.
Well, you lost that because you hit me for 6 dice, and I saved 5.
I know. Yes.
That's why.
Yeah, it's your dice.
And I had more support, so at the end I had more at the end result.
Yes. My gun and my dragoons.
So they fired into here.
Fired into here.
Disordered
them.
Yeah. Didn't break them though.
No, of course
one
not.
More.
Yeah, because they're Irish. These guys fell back.
It's Scottish.
These guys I know. This is the stupidest thing. So here I was like, oh, I'm going to charge into some disordered Irish musket guys. How bad could this possibly be? Oh, well, I lost the combat. That's how bad it could be. So because they're Irish and they had their toughness or their morale is higher, negated my lances, and he rolled a 5 and 6 for his saves. I rolled only 2 hits out of 6, and he saved both. So thus ends my illustrious turn, and now we see what happens to me.
Okay, so the luck of the Irish was not with me that time. I had Dennis's luck.
Yeah.
So I moved my Irish pike up, fully perfect, great, charged into this, and at the end of the hand-to-hand, even though he was disordered, 3 cut, I lost combat. I had no rear support. I did have flank support, but he had flank and rear and shitty dice for me, so that resulted in that. The shooting that was done here, thank God for good super glue, but the shooting resulted in absolutely nada. This was a stalemate. I took a casualty at the end.
Yeah,
for the
so
continued
I'm now
combat.
winning this one now.
Nothing happened here, nothing happened here. Over here, just a bit of shooting and some disorder, and that was it. It was a really uneventful day on the field.
Right, onwards to, I believe, turn 5.
Yep, so days.
Oh, man. Getting delirious from all this whiskey or bourbon or whatever. So over here, I charged the gun. somehow lost.
We were a draw, but
it was a draw.
You were shaken. You took a casualty from the shooting, and that took you to shaken, which means that you had to test.
Right. The Roach unit blasted the Newcastle regiment, though, and turned to face these guys.
Yeah, the hand-to-hand.
For the first time ever, these guys moved up to provide rear support for the unit that was engaged with the Scottish, but I still lost. They fell back by 1. Over yonder...
You tried to charge your cavalry, but they failed.
Oh, yeah, so I tried to charge a million... I tried to do a bunch of things, nothing happened. Yeah, so I tried to charge into there, did nothing. Just a pile of shooting and little disorders here and there. But yeah, I'm still holding off over there. The center is just where it's just really dicey. So
it wavers. It goes on my favour, then goes on your favour, then goes on. It just wavers from side to side.
Yeah, so we'll see what Scott can pull out here.
See. Another mediocre turn by the Scots-Irish Royalists.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, yeah. So the gun that was here in combat, it lost, and as soon as a gun loses, it's gone. So that lost. It didn't affect anything else around it because guns leaving don't affect testing of support.
Mm-hmm.
All the shooting was nebulous. It did bugger all. Really the shooting did nothing except make them shaken and disordered.
Yeah, in closing fire.
All my attempts to move these guys, the pike to charge, failed. They just did shooting. They did really bugger all. It was a really waste of time. Over here was probably the only good thing that happened. So my cuirassiers, I moved them first before the rest. They got to charge forward. They charged into his commanded shot, destroyed him in hand-to-hand. Then they followed on into the lancers.
Mm-hmm.
He counter-charged, but I won by 2 points of that.
Because you made quite a lot of your saves despite my lances.
Yes. Even with his +2 for his lances, I still saved most of my hits.
Yeah.
So So the left is looking a little bit steadier, and my right is collapsing. So that would be my summary at the moment.
And my last turn is coming up, so we'll see what we can do. Turn 6.
Yeah.
All right, my last turn was just a bunch of repositioning, really.
Yeah.
I initiative moved these guys back because now they're no longer disordered. To save them, because if he puts any shots into here, they're gonna have to test. Repositioned a couple things here. Shot down to shaken. Caused enough wounds to shatter two. No, I forced them back.
Yeah, and
I shattered them. Yeah, because of the gun.
Yeah. So these 3 were shaken, but 1 failed. The other 2 passed their.
Because of the -1.
And then this was nothing happened here.
Well, my thinking here was move the Reavers up here to protect him from just flank charging there. He's going to have to declare the charge on them first. They're going to fire and evade. And then if he destroys them, that's fine. I did pull the wound off of him to remove shaken so I could blast them, but I only got them up to disordered.
Yeah.
The Dragoons... I mean, apart from just sitting here and denying this building, which is fine, I've just sat here and taken pot shots. So that's my last turn. We'll see what damage Scotty can do in his turn.
Okay, so for my final hurrah, I managed to get these guys lined up, do a lot of shooting into there. You have to test for them, by the way. They did fuck all.
I believe I already tested for them. Remember, I remember I tested and then I removed the wound, and you said, "Why did you remove the wound?"
They passed their test, so that stands. It's just shaken.
Settle down.
So I managed to get 3 pike units into the charge, except he disordered me
with defensive
fire. These guys, I needed 2 moves. They got 1.
Yeah.
This came to a. Well, he said
I lost,
he passed his morale, so he didn't bounce back or anything. Yeah. So that would be continued combat if we kept going. Yeah. I wanted to kill the gun, didn't happen. He saved.
Yeah. Over here was.
So I charged into his skirmish cavalry, but they fire and evaded, disordered me, so I had to stop. So the best I could do is fire this random pistol guy at the gun.
Yeah.
These guys fired. I just do 2 shaken now with 2.
Yeah, they're shaking, but if you had done a third one, they'd
and
test.
I needed to do one more hit with this
Yep.
to make them test, and they missed.
Yeah. But yeah, stopping this with the fire and evade was awesome with the 6.
Yeah, that was lucky.
Yeah.
So that's it. The game is a little bit imbalanced because I mean I went to the Montrose army and I had Scots and Irish, so some of my stats for the Scots for the Irish are like 1 up from the Scots, and like these are Gordon horse, which are
incredible.
They're not as good as Cuirassiers, but they're still
really
Gordon
good.
horse.
Yeah.
They're not even as good as the Lancers. I mean, they just have 1 attack point, but they have no bonuses on the charge or anything. So your Lancers are cheaper, but better in combat.
But only against cavalry,
Yeah.
Whereas these guys are better overall against everything.
Yeah, so they're good against infantry and cavalry, but yours get the...
Well, you have a better... First of all, you get a better save, you get an extra attack. What else did the Gordon have?
That's it.
Well, that's still pretty good.
Well, so they're gallopers, so they have to chase shit. They're just
Right.
like typical British cavalry, right?
Yeah.
They're over eager and they have to chase stuff around the board.
Right.
So they're not elite. They're not heavy cavalry. There's no bonuses for them. They're just gallopers.
But they have a 3-up save, though, right?
They have a 3-up save, but
Well,
because they're armoured.
That's way better than mine.
Yeah, but you get a +2 in the... I lose 2 points trying to save, so if I'm a 3...
But that only matters if you don't roll all 5s and 6s like somebody does.
Yes, but when you're cavalry countercharge, I'm not saving on 3 anymore. I'm saving on 5, and you're still saving on 4. So
Yeah.
and traditionally the Scottish Lancers were better cavalry anyway.
Yeah, which didn't have as much of them.
No, but the problem with you is they sat behind that building for like the whole game.
Well, they had nothing to charge.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, they could have charged the riflemen out here.
Well, no, they're cavalry. A skirmish cavalry. It's a little more difficult
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
to pull off. Yeah.
Yeah. I
good
mean,
game.
if you really look at the table, we haven't really... There's no one
There's
who's
no
got an
breakthroughs.
advantage. No.
Yeah, there's no huge breakthroughs. Although over time, this is a breakthrough over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we were discussing it. Like my units all stuck in the back. Like I've got units, quote unquote, reserve units that never made it. My Highlanders, the Roach unit.
These guys never moved the whole
they never
game.
moved. Yeah.
They sat there the whole game.
yeah.
Same as these guys. They moved into the forest, never moved.
Yeah.
Moved into the building, never moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. It's. I'd like to do this on a bigger table next time, just a little.
Well, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Just same thing, but just a bigger table.
Yeah. So we'll do the two 6. So 4 and 4. So it'll be 8 by 6.
8 by 6. Yeah.
So just a little bit more maneuver room and like starting off a little bit further away.
Well, we won't be edge to edge all the way across.
No,
It's
that's
across
right.
America.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be a bit more room for cavalry to outflank.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the game, man.
It was. Yeah. Thanks, Dennis. It's still good to play again. It's been
Yeah,
too
no,
long.
it was great.
It's
Yeah.
only been 4 months.
Yeah.
5 months.
All right. Thanks, man.